So, you made it. You're here. You're here. You made it. 6 months ago we started this, right? 6 months ago we were here. And we kicked this off. I was down in my office downstairs looking at my post-it note wall, which has all of these thoughts and quotes that come into my head when I read. And one of the ones that I was reading is a quote from Nelson Mandela. And in fact, Scott Korndike and I are on the 6 AAA kitchen, and we had the board for the commercial kitchen incubator down here. And we had an opportunity to sign the wall before they started closing things up. And I wrote this quote on that wall, and Nelson Mandela's quote is, "It always seems impossible until it's done." It always seems impossible until it's done. And I'm sure that in October, when you were facing that 60-second pitch, and you were getting ready to do this thing, you were like, there is no way I'm going to be here in April vying for that prize money. But here you are, so give yourself a huge round of applause. This is phenomenal. It will be a phenomenal day. No matter what happens, you will remember it. You will remember it for a long time. Whether you remember it because you learned something very important, or whether you remember it because you get a really big check on Thursday night. So, and when I say big check, I mean like really big check. Don't try to catch that. So what are we going to do today? Oh, shoot. First, I got to thank the sponsors. First of all, I want to say welcome to the Hub, powered by PNC Bank. Thank you, PNC Bank. And I can't thank PNC enough because PNC is not just a supporter of the Hub. They are a supporter of everything we do. Our Greater West Dayton Incubator, our Flyer Pitch competition, and when I say supporter, I mean like they are engaged. Troy, Dwight, Michelle, Dave, Hamad, they're all here. They're all engaged. They've helped for the last few years in everything we do, and that is more than you can ask for in a partner. And then, of course, our other partner, my partner in crime, Scott Korndike, and the Entrepreneur Center. We would not be in this space without them, and we would not have one of the country's top 50 entrepreneurship programs without the support of the Entrepreneur Center. Everything they do for us is phenomenal. So give those two organizations a huge round of applause. We have lots of other supporters that I'm not going to go through the whole list. I am going to point out one. Michael Bandila, Michael Cia, used to be Bandila, now it is CXO. He just rebranded. Michael has been supporting this competition for 4 years. Prior to that, he was in this competition, got into the final round, and was this last year just named a Young Alumni Award for the University of Dayton. So Michael, thank you for everything that you're doing for us. It's much appreciated. So, 3 tracks. Right here in this room, we'll have our Main Street track. Upstairs, 3rd floor lecture hall, we'll have our ESP technology track. And then downstairs in the gym, the gym underground, we will have our nonprofit track. We want to, do I have to go through this whole slide? You want to say anything, Michael?
Oh, jeez. I guess I have to pitch. Well, hi everyone, I'm Michael, previously Bandila Studios, now CXO Business Solutions. Basically, we help chief everything officers become chief executive officers, right? So typically you guys are aspiring entrepreneurs, you're dreaming of having your full-time team, but it's a pretty big gap between right now as a solopreneur and getting your first hire. So we offer that kind of medium step point, kind of renting out a full marketing department, strategy department, HR department, and financial department too, so that you can have those essential non-revenue generating areas of your business that are essential for growth, but not necessarily your main priority right now. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So thank you so much.
So our funding, right? So this is what we're all here for. In our nonprofit track, 3 prizes, $21,000, up to 3 prizes, $21,000 in cash. $10,000 first place, $7,500 for second place, $2,500 for third, a $1,000 Community Choice Award. So you're going to be live streamed on YouTube. Don't forget to do that, Kat. All three tracks will be live streamed on YouTube. And then we have some in-kind prizes. The CXO marketing package, QuickBooks support from Emerald Sparks, and Flyer Consulting support. Flyer Consulting is our student-run consulting organization at the University of Dayton that works with, I can't just say local nonprofits, I have to say international nonprofits. We just had 2 students return from Monrovia. They were working with a local client, but supporting a project in Liberia, Monrovia. So, Main Street Track, $31,000 in cash, $15,000 prize first place, $10,000 second, $5,500 third, and a $1,000 Community Choice Award. And then in our technology track, we have $51,000 in cash today, and $25,000, wow, that's a lot of money. $25,000 first prize, $15,000 for second, $10,000 for third, and then also, thanks to the Entrepreneur Center, an additional $25,000 in support, in services support and help and anything that you're going to need from the Entrepreneur Center for the winner of the ESP Technology track. We also have the marketing package from CXO and a IP analysis package for those that need some IP analysis. We want to thank our judges. So Scott Korndike from the Entrepreneur Center. Scott, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Troy Lindo from PNC. Becky, I know I saw Becky around here. Scott Murphy, who decided to come back and show his face for today. Emily Crotty from Verify Venture. Thank you, Emily. And Katie Saidi, a University of Dayton student. I saw Katie upstairs. There's Katie back there. In our ESP Tech Track mentors, Emily Furman Corey. I don't know if Emily is here or not. Katie Hill. Katie Hill is, I heard that you were the keynote speaker at our banquet on Thursday.
I heard a rumor.
Are we going to learn anything really cool?
I hope so.
Me too. So Katie, thank you. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for what you're doing for us this week and everything you've done for us. Also, Jordan Rowe from the Entrepreneur Center, Gail Johnson from Talent One Ventures, and Andy Hill from Sundial. In our Main Street track, the judges, Bernard, thanks for being here, Bernard. We appreciate it. Jelani Johnson from the Dayton Chamber, Dwight from PNC Bank, thank you, Dwight. Dr. Caitlin DeGhetto from the University of Dayton, who took time off from watching her little one to come in to see us today. And Izzy, thank you for being here today. And then in our nonprofit work, Main Street Track Ventures, I'm sorry. I should really look at these things before I stand up here. Christina Mendez. Christina, thank you. Where are you, Christina? I know you're around here somewhere. Thank you for mentoring Aaron Lumpkin from Chase Bank, Nicole Carter, Tasty Smith, and Tasty is doing extremely well. I happened to talk to her just a few minutes ago. And you won last year, didn't you? And how are you doing now? Phenomenal. That's what we want to hear. That's what this is all about, right? Is really helping folks get started. And then finally in our nonprofit track, Peter, I can't say enough, Peter has been helping us with nonprofits and social ventures now for several years. If you get an opportunity, go to the collaboratory and support Peter's effort. He's doing great work in this community. Shannon Ism. Shannon, thank you for being here again. Ahmad, thank you for being here. Dan Tuss from the University of Dayton. Dan likes to give me a hard time because I'm not a foundations guy, but no. Dan, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Sherelle Gardner, thank you, Sherelle. Nicole, and then Amanda Bush with Flyer Consulting from UD. And in our nonprofit mentors, Jordan Calhoun, Leela Klein, and Josh White. We appreciate everybody's support. So, we're going to be down here for Main Street, we're going to be upstairs for the ESP Tech Track, and then we're going to be down in the gym for the nonprofit track. So, Thursday, come hungry, come ready, Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, right down here in the Rotunda. We will have a nice reception from 6 to 7. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll kick off the program where we will make some remarks. Katie has agreed to be our keynote speaker this year, and we will also give away some prize money, so you guys will get to find out who wins. That'll be Thursday evening. So everybody, make sure you're here, and if you haven't responded to Stephanie, make sure she knows that you're going to be here. I think that is all I have, isn't it? Okay. So are you guys ready to do this? All right, so let's adjourn to our rooms. Good luck today. You're going to do great, and have fun.
I don't know what that is. I just noticed it myself. The 22nd is missing.
Yeah, the last round was
I don't think so. No, thank you. That's all I was like.
They said you qualified, huh?
Y'all are cool.
Yeah, I forgot you were a judge. I didn't know that. I didn't know y'all were here. Usually we be in the
Tank.
So I called Keisha like, where we at? But I forgot she was good. What
I'm
wrong?
about to say, yeah, you tried to have me interrupt Vince's speech.
That would be just fine. In fact, if you want to do
He was like, if you want to do that anytime,
be even
let me know.
Can you do it for me?
I'm gonna give me some apples. I'm going to
Y'all just piling them on.
Oh no, you're good.
Good luck.
And I'm like, Pookie, man, this Cookies was calling me.
But I say those, I can't think of the name of the bagel place, but those are actually pretty good.
All right. I always mess up because I don't know which one is my line. I think last time I put it into Lonnie's, I had put on.
No, you have to, yours is green.
No.
And I'm only saying that because I had to make sure I rolled all the way over to yellow
Oh,
before I started just putting stuff anywhere. Please go sit down.
I am. I'm about to go have a seat right now.
Oh, you know she don't know how to do anything else. That's why I tell people being here on a day that I come to work.
Oh, because we're started.
We will get started in a few minutes. Judges, are you good to go?
I make a call.
You make a phone, yes.
Keep going. Good morning. This is Shayna from Naturally Bare. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Just a little more for me.
Okay. Hello, good morning. This is Shayna.
Stream.
Okay, hello, good morning. This is Shayna. Hello, hello.
One will be okay. Drink some water with it.
Problem is, I just can't.
It is because it's very quiet. You need some background music or something.
We're waiting on one more judge. We'll get started in a minute. Very good. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you, judges. Thank you, mentors in the room, for supporting our 4 finalists in the Main Street track. So, exciting day. We have Shayna Boyd with Naturally Bare pitching first, Rachel Crowder with Black Health Lit, Chanel Higgins with Legacy Financial University, and Tasha May with Taste of Sensation. So 4 wonderful ventures that we're going to hear more about and learn from today. And they're going to pitch their heart out, and we will be deliberating with the judges afterwards. And again, hopefully see you on Thursday at our banquet to celebrate the flyer pitch participants and affiliates of the Karate Center. So without further ado, we're going to get started with our first pitch. So with Shayna Boyd with Naturally Bare. All right, so every pitch is 30 minutes. That includes their pitching time and also Q&A from the judges. And we'll just move through the 4 today, and you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. All right? We good? Shayna, you ready?
Yeah.
This one? Okay. Imagine the rock of your life. Imagine a rock here. Imagine the rock of your life, the one who always stood strong, supporting and cheering you on, was suddenly unable to be that. Was suddenly unable to be that pillar of strength. My grandmother was that superhero to me, battling her diabetes till she couldn't anymore. Reflecting on her meticulous care, I can't help but to wonder, where would she be if her diabetes would have been better managed? As I started this journey with Naturally Bare, I am dedicated to promoting how important foot care is to those who are managing diabetes. It is truly a tribute to my grandmother and all those who are dealing with this same struggle. Hi, my name is Shayna Boyd, a certified master pedicurist specializing in preventative foot care for those who are managing diabetes. You might be wondering, what is a certified master pedicurist? A certified master pedicurist falls in between a nail technician and a foot doctor, also known as a podiatrist. So when you think of a pedicure, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Let me guess, your feet in your own personal jacuzzi, right? Will I surprise you if I tell you you can get a pedicure without water? At Naturally Bare, our waterless pedicure experience will have you forget about that football. As a certified master pedicurist, our value proposition lies in the ability to provide preventive care for those who are suffering with diabetes. So what does that look like? Preventive care for diabetes will reduce medical costs, will reduce hospital visits and doctor visits. I would like you to know we are highly trained in providing preventive care to address calluses, thickened toenails, and ulcers. So what services do we offer? We offer 3-level care that is based off the needs of the customer. The prices range from $60 to $120. We have a toenail restoration, which is a technique that's used for an artificial toenail. So those who have damaged toenails, it will make an appearance of an actual nail. And that price range from $50 to $100. And we also offer home care products, which is all diabetic friendly. I recommend those in between appointments to maintain their feet. That price range from $10 to $27. If you're not interested in getting a pedicure, we offer maintenance care. And maintenance care is basic toenail clipping and callus reduction. And that price range from $15 to $40. Therapeutic shoe fitter is one of the things I became certified in this year to be able to size for therapeutic shoes. Therapeutic shoes is important for this population because it reduces ulcers. And so that price range, we get a kickback through Dr. Comfort, can be $66 to $91. Insurance does cover this, but you can also pay out of pocket. So how do you book with us? So you will book with us at naturallybarellc.com to lock in an appointment. What payments do we accept? Cash and all cards. I have some exciting news. This year, I was approved to accept HSA and FSA. FSA is Health Savings Account, and FSA is Flexible Savings Account. So before I go any further, I would like to explain the difference of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. With type 1 diabetes, your body doesn't produce enough insulin. With type 2 diabetes, your body produces insulin but cannot use it well. So who do we serve? Primarily, our customers are women aged 45 and up. While women have historically prioritized their foot care, we also are seeing an increase in men exploring our services and becoming regular customers. I would like you to know that we service all individuals of all ages and gender that can benefit for our services. But as our target pupil, or if you are diabetic looking for a safe and clean environment, we're here to serve you. According to market research, 1 million Ohioans were already diagnosed last year with diabetes. An even more concerning number is 70,000 new cases are reported every year here in our home state. With numbers like this, the increase for Naturally Bare is at a high demand for specialized foot care services. In Dayton and the surrounding areas, there are approximately 50 nail salons, but none are offering services like us. Most people prefer walk-in salons because of it's being convenient and affordable, whereas those who see a podiatrist are at the mercy of the insurance. And what that means is insurance will only cover basic medical care every 2 to 3 months. This sets us up for an advantage because they can come see us more frequently at an out-of-pocket cost that's cheaper. Our channels and partnerships. So since we've been in business in 2021, Naturally Bare has grown rapidly. Our first connection is Dr. Chang and Dr. Lewis at Community Foot Specialists. They are some of the first ones to send us referrals. Our next connection is Dr. Comfort. Dr. Comfort, we became certified this year to be able to size for therapeutic shoes. And lastly, is Sienna Woods. I just received the contract this week to be able to provide services in a nursing home setting. And so with that, we'll be able to do pedicure services and also basic maintenance care. They have a podiatrist to come out, and the same rules apply for in a nursing home. They only there every 90 days. And so in between that, they're in pain and they have new intake. So we'll be there for more of emergency purposes, but also coming there once a month because they have a beautician to come once a month, but they have nobody there to maintain their foot care. So we'll be there for them to release that barrier. Our cost structure. So in order to keep our business growing, our cost structures look like we invest in our rent, our maintenance, our insurance. And for our secondary cost is education. This year in July, I will be traveling to Gatlinburg to get more certificates in our field. And lastly, additional cost is marketing and advertisement. I already have a website, but with the new things I'm adding and expanding, I would need to revamp that. So I'll be investing on getting the new website updated. And so as we grow, we are looking into contracting a daytime staff. And with that, that will help us maximize our space, bring in more revenue, and serve more clientele. That process will look like recruitment. So I'll also take referrals, but I'll make a posting on Indeed. And so once we find that staff, we will be having them to sign a contract and followed by training and shadowing. So I would like for them to at least have a passion for working with this population and for foot care, but I will be providing that training for them if they need to. And I would introduce them to our clients as well as provide all the supervision that is needed. And then I will perform a performance evaluation to make sure they are the best fit for the company and to also see if we're meeting their needs. And lastly is signing a new contract annually. So for 2024 quarter, our first quarter we made $5,000 and we're projecting a 20% growth. Before I go any further, I will let you to know that I pursue this part-time. So I run my business part-time, and so I'm looking to do this full-time in 1 to 2 years. But with me hiring that part-time, daytime staff during the day, that can help me increase clientele from 12 a week to 30 a week. And so for overall, this is an outline of our growth. So in 2024 to jump into 2023 to jump into 2024, it was a 44% percentage growth. And then from there, it was a 19 for 2024 we're projecting, and then 2026 is a 16. And so with this flyer pitch, having a business plan is critical. I've seen businesses fail without having a plan, and being a part of this pitch helped me to understand the financial part of my business. And so I am looking to do this full time to meet my goal, and then once I start adding on those therapeutic shoes, that will help me reach my goal, and also the staffing will help me reach all of my goals. The first round, the $500 was used for upgrading our lighting system so we can see better in services. The second thing that we used the money for was for traveling out of state for one-on-one training for products and also a refresher. I also locked in a business coach to be able to hold me accountable to make sure I'm hitting all of my goals in my business. For the second round, I was able to secure an accountant to help me with bookkeeping. I also became a fitter for therapeutic shoes of Dr. Comfort. And then lastly, I continue to work with my business coach while also adding on a support group. If I'm awarded this $15,000, I would use the $15,000 to purchase a Pro Vacuum e-file. So an e-file is a tool that I use to do most of my services. And so this is unique because it has a vacuum system connected to it, so it's collecting all the dust and debris. And that is used to collect the dust so I'm not breathing in as well as the client. So just basically a clean environment. And then the second thing is I would continue working with my accounting and also my business coach. I didn't have that, and I needed that. And this competition helped me put things in place to be able to grow Naturally Bare. So you see, I am working hard. Not only do I have a business plan, but I'm having people in the business to help me keep us growing. I would take my exam to be a certified fitter. So this is a requirement that Medicare requires us to do. And so from there, it's an accreditation process. I have to complete an accreditation process to be able to bill insurance for the therapeutic shoes. I didn't mention this before, but for pedicure services, we cannot bill insurance for, but for the therapeutic shoes, we can bill. And then lastly is completing the enrollment packet for Medicare. And so all of that ties in together. I have to pass the exam to be able to be accredited and then sign up for Medicare to be able to enroll to bill for insurance. And so hiring a virtual assistant will help us be able to maintain the business by producing the services, but they will focus more on the back end of things. Upgrading to a healthier polish. Some of our clients enjoy getting polished, and so I wanted to align with my business to make sure it's healthy. And then CPR trained, well, we work with clients, so we want to make sure we are trained in that. And then for advertisement, I'm looking to do billboards, brochures, flyers, ads in newspaper, promoting on the radio, just getting the word out about Naturally Bare and what we do. And lastly, it would be hiring that contract for the nail tech during the day. If we win the $15,000, that would help us execute these goals a lot quicker. So we're looking to start everything in May of 2024. We'll contract that nail technician by July of this year. So that is expanding our services, improving on our marketing, starting new partnerships. Yes, we have a partnership with a nursing home and a couple of podiatrists, but we're looking to expand that. And then the ability to provide new jobs. So with us growing, we are able to provide new jobs for the area, and then with that brings in new revenue. So I took a survey this year to figure out how committed my customers are with using the recommended products. And so 76.9 are very committed, and they're committed to using the products in between their appointments, going to the podiatrist, and also becoming regular customers. The ones who didn't quite make it, I would continue to educate them until they're committed and confident. So before I became a certified master pedicurist, it was a requirement for me to intern at a podiatrist's office. So I was able to intern at Dr. Richmond podiatrist's office to see the back end of how that works. And then secondly, I won first place in an Early Riser Academy, and that money went towards me locking in my own suite. And then I was able to obtain my NPI number. That is called National Provider of Identifier. So that's like your business social security number, and that's for billing purposes. And then lastly, I completed all 3 rounds of the pitch competition successfully. Let me take you down memory lane. So when I first started in business, I did it, believe it or not, in my living room. And so once everything lifted with COVID, I had an opportunity to work in a nail salon. And so that brought in more customers, because we all know you don't want everybody in your house, and customers sometimes are not comfortable coming in your home. I gave myself a year because I had other plans for Naturally Bare. And so I jumped right in head first into my own suite. And since then, that's when I began to receive podiatrist referrals and also seeing an increase in my male clientele. Whew, my support system. Boy, oh boy, I needed them. I really appreciate the flyer pitch for adding on that entity with the mentorship, because it was needed. All the love, all the motivation and support I needed for this round was very challenging, and they kept me afloat. So I really appreciate the resources that they give us to be successful, because they want us to be successful, and I see myself growing each round. Oh, lastly, I would like to thank you guys for looking through the lens of Naturally Bare. This is my baby, and I am passionate. If you didn't hear it today, my customers can tell you. So I appreciate you. I really hope that you got a great lens out of Naturally Bare. I want to continue servicing you as your community foot fairy. Thank you. Any questions?
question I have is, you kind of emphasize the waterless piece. Is that important for diabetic, or is that just kind of a nice to have?
No, it is important for diabetics because when their feet are soaking in those jet bowls, they can risk getting infections. They're more open to it, to be exact. So if you're not a diabetic, there's nothing going on with you. If you get cut, you might heal up a lot quicker, but for a diabetic, they heal slower and they're more open and prone to infection. So it's better to just go ahead and do waterless.
Nice job.
Thank
First off, start with that. This is hard. It's a long time to go through this process, so you did a great job. My question comes with more of the finances. So I see your Q1, Q2, Q3 is your profitability starts to kind of go down from Q2 to Q4 for this year, which is fine. Profit goes up and down on a month-to-month and quarter-to-quarter basis. How does that track into the next years? Is that a consistent where you're going to sit in that Q4 profitability for 25 and 26, or does it go up, or how does it work? Because I don't see anything else for the other years.
How does you said the revenues
Yeah,
grow?
not the revenue, the profitability.
Oh, the profitability.
Revenue is great.
Okay.
Profitability is making money, that keeps you going, that keeps you kind of functioning year to year. So the profit, how does your profit track from 25 and 26?
Could you ask it a different way? I'm sorry.
What's your profitability for 25 and 26?
Oh, how much I would profit?
Yeah, percentage, dollar amount,
16%.
16%?
Yeah. And I'm just, because I am doing it like part-time now, and when I do it full-time, I will be able to bring more like revenue in, then I will be able to profit more.
Okay.
So that's what I'm projecting.
And you plan on going in 26?
Yes,
Taking the plunge?
yes. I'm just saving money so I can create like an exit plan for
Okay.
it. So I hope it's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I have a question.
Oh,
You go first.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, with the person that you are planning on, the daytime staff that you're planning on contracting, are you expecting them to also be a certified master pedicurist as well?
Yes, just to have
Okay.
some knowledge of it. And if not, I would be able to have the ability to train them too.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would sign up. I'm signing up to be an instructor
Okay.
to teach advanced foot care. So I do at least want them to have some knowledge, but if they don't, to be able to get it from me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what is your biggest challenge that you're facing right now? And then if you end up getting some of the funding here, what do you foresee as being your biggest challenge in the next couple years?
My biggest challenge right now is doing it part-time, honestly, because I have so many calls with the podiatrists. The podiatrists that I work with, for the referrals that I get, they went a different direction, and so they're needing more help, so I'm getting more clients. So that's like the biggest challenge, to not be able to service everybody. And with this money, it's gonna help me to be able to put things in place so I can like leave my full-time job and be able to do this a lot quicker. So that's the biggest challenge, because I'm limited in my schedule.
How do you prioritize what clients to take on and whatnot?
I just, actually, I have enough time at my full-time job to take off. So I try to get in as much as I can, and then let them know that if anybody cancel or reschedule, I let them know. So I have a waiting list. So I have a waiting list, but then I also have the ability to take off too if needed.
Have you had any competition that in this space that has really kind of carved out a niche for any of you?
No.
Okay.
Just because I'm the only one that is providing this level of care, it's like a happy medium. So it's a step up from a nail technician and a step down for a podiatrist, because I focus more on aesthetics and the medical piece of it.
So follow-up question with that is like you said, you being the only person that's out there, and I know Jelani just asked you about how do you prioritize that? With so many people now being aware of it, how do you make sure, again, you kind of migrate and have the resources to be able to service a larger and a growing community that's out there as well?
Staff. Yeah, that's the only thing. Is me being able to service I can and just hiring more people to do it. I'm willing to sacrifice right now because I am full-time. And so if I have to take a cut from what I make to be able to bring in more people, that's what I'm willing to do.
With that in mind, if you're willing to take a cut to bring more people in, why wouldn't you just go Like, you're gonna go bring more people in, you're gonna pay other people to not make you as much money, but you wanna save money. Have you thought about just, which is what I thought actually in round two, which is, if you wait 2 years, is that too long to wait and just jumping in? Because you could do the work yourself. Like, how much could you actually get done in an 8-hour, 12-hour day when you're the primary person that's building the business? And the money's there, clearly. The clientele are there.
Yes.
There's a ton of senior living communities here, so they're building them every month at this point.
I just want
Got a
to.
home care agency back
Oh.
there. We got one right here.
Yeah, I
So-
just really want to do my best with spreading the word because there's still a lot of people that don't know and the benefits of it. And so I just want to make sure things are put in place correctly. One, I have Money Saver. One, now I have a business plan. So it may look a little different for me, but I didn't have all this in place. And now that I'm getting things in place, I don't want to fail. So it's like I want to have things set in place for me to be successful. And so that's what like the reservations is. But now that things are going and I'm starting to understand more about my business and the finance part, I know I can be very successful and do it on my own while having other help too.
So with that high demand, do you see room to increase your prices at all?
Yes, that's the next thing I'm working with my accounting is just making sure everything is good with my pricing.
So is your plan do you have something in mind in terms of like how much you'll increase those percentage wise? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Yeah.
What would you say is like the most popular or demanded service that you give to most of your clients out of all of the ones that you offer?
It would be the like the wellness pedicure.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's because like the seniors typically have thicker toenails or they can't cut and they need more help. So that's more detail. So I would say that one.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Sheena.
Thank you.
Check, check, check. 1, 2.
All right. Does it matter where or? Matter if it's on the same side as the mic. Speak for me. Speak for me.
Good morning, everyone. So I would like to open with a question, a true or false question. True or false, 34% of Black Americans are suffering from health literacy. Raise your hand if you think that statistic is true. Okay. So about a third of the room. A third of the room. Okay. So actually, it's 58% of Black Americans are suffering from low health literacy. Today, I am going to share with you all what Black Health Lit is doing to change that statistic, and I will also share a personal story that affected my family between pitch round 1 and 2. Shortly after round 1, we had a family friend die from a heart attack. He was only 32 years old, and he was someone I would describe as suffering from low health literacy. My name is Rachel Ray Crowder. I am the founder of Black Health Lit. I am also a master of public health. I am a certified grant writer, a licensed insurance agent, but my most important experience has been a breast cancer patient. Navigating the complexities of the health system while navigating a complex diagnosis like breast cancer gave me a different perspective on the health system and realizing how important health literacy was and how it impacted my survivorship. Even though I've been in the healthcare industry for about 13-ish years, I started to lose count after 10. I cannot do this work alone, so I have a wonderful team behind me that consists of a project manager, Naomi Sloan, who has a background in chemical engineering and project management. My team also consists of a health educator who started off as an intern. She has her master's in public health. I have 2 intern students from Howard University who are studying health management. They will graduate next month. And then our University of Dayton representative is Ezekiel Peoples, who has he's a counseling wizard, is what I would call him. He's national, he's local, he's everywhere. And then my University of Dayton assigned mentor, Nicole, who is also, Dr. Nicole Carter, who is also a master of public health and has been phenomenal. So who is Black Health Lit and how are we solving this pressing social issue? Our mission at Black Health Lit was recently revamped, and it is to ignite a movement that fosters better health for Black Americans through culturally specific programming, while also simultaneously empowering healthcare professionals to have enhanced patient-provider experiences. Our vision is to create a world where everyone, including Black Americans, has a fair and just opportunity to attain their highest level of health. So let's talk a little bit about how Black Health Lit is positioned to elevate health and Black health, specifically in the Dayton area. So by supporting minority health and providing health education, people can become healthier. The research shows that there is a direct connection between health literacy and health outcomes. It's the old adage, if you know better, you do better. When people are healthier, there is a downstream economic impact. For the entire state, the Health Policy Institute estimates that health disparities is responsible for $7.9 billion in lost revenue for the state of Ohio. For Dayton, Ohio specifically, that can equate to about $1,377 per person when they are experiencing health disparities. And that statistic comes from the National Institute of Health. When people are healthier, they are also more civically engaged. We know how important it is for people to be engaged civically. It impacts politics, it impacts our lives. And when people are civically engaged, they have more pride in their neighborhoods and they're able to contribute more to the economy in a financial and social way. Also, when people have better health literacy, their economic impact can also be seen because if you don't have more medical bills, you can redirect your financial resources to the local economy, shopping with small businesses and spending those dollars elsewhere. And then last but not least, we would really like to engage the 2 wonderful HBCUs that Dayton area is blessed with, Wilberforce University and Central State University. And by doing that, that helps us to create a rolling pipeline of diverse talent that can contribute to the health disparities in the Dayton and Miami Valley area. So our services include consulting, health education, professional development, and we also do some philanthropy through our Black Health Lit podcast, and our products include branded merchandise. Recently, I conducted a client needs assessment, which identified some primary pain points. I was not surprised by these. The first one was professional development and CEU requirements. So often in the healthcare space and the social sector, there's a lot of professionals such as nurses, doctors, social workers, who are required by law to complete professional development and continuing education units. The problem is a lot of the CEU providers are not innovative and they do not have a focus on diverse patient populations or the communities that they serve. The diverse patient population feeds into that, right? So as the world becomes more diverse, so does the demographic that community organizations and healthcare systems are serving. The challenge that healthcare specifically organizations are facing is that there's a gap in the diversity of healthcare leaders. There are still only 2% of Black doctors in the nation. And so what research has found is when the patient's care team is more diverse, better health outcomes are seen. And that is not just for people of color or Black Americans, that's for everyone. So when the healthcare team is diverse, when the leadership team is diverse, everybody has better health outcomes. Increasing total cost of care is another pain point. Definitely no surprise there. We are all seeing an increase in everything: gas, groceries, healthcare. Healthcare total, I mean, it's off the charts. It's way worse than every other industry. So increased total cost of care is a big pain point. And the way that Black Health Lit relates to that and supports in decreasing that increased cost of care is when people have elevated health literacy, then they have more appropriate utilization of the healthcare system. So for example, if you know that it's more appropriate for you to go to the primary care doctor instead of the emergency department, then that saves all of us money. Because when people overutilize the emergency department, we all pay. We've seen our deductibles go up, right? That's part of the reason. And then also organizations, government entities, community-based organizations and health systems have limited resources and time constraints. They're in operations, they're saving lives, they're meeting people where they are. So they don't have time to take a step back and develop programs to push forward health equity. That's where Black Health Lit comes in. So talking about our health education, we provide seminars and workshops. They are interactive. In front of you, I have provided a brochure for selling our health education services. I've also left behind for you all an example of a proposal, and behind that is a contract. I also have on this end an example of a presentation and a participant guide of our health education services, specifically one focused on breast cancer called Beauty Kills, where I educate women on how the beauty products that we use every day directly connect to their breast cancer risk. Breast health, heart health, and health insurance, as well as lifestyle management, are the topics that we cover. Some of our example clients include Equitas, the Whole You Wellness Studio, and we have contracting in progress with Premier Health YMCA of Greater Dayton, the brand new beautiful one up on Salem, and our year-to-date revenue is $935. Under professional development, so before I mentioned the CEU requirements and professional development requirements, we offer presentations, interactive workshops, participant resources, and then once people complete those sessions, there is a competency check. And when the employer or the organization gets those results back, then they can say, the needle was moved. This is where they were baselined in their competencies. This is how Black Health Lit was able to improve their competencies. And then if there are still any gaps, then they can use us as a consultant to design their programs to close that gap in their competencies. Our training topics include health equity, health literacy, and social determinants of health, which is everything outside of the actual healthcare decision that impacts how people's health, how their health outcomes are. So housing, education, finances, for example. Some of our client examples include Equitas and Black Birth Circle. Our year-to-date revenue is $1,500. Under our consulting service, we have 2 levels of engagement. We have advisory support, where we are the brain in the room, and we assist clients with developing their own solutions. With our strategic planning solution, we are more hands-on. We identify the gaps, and we make the strategy for them. And it typically is a 3-year roadmap is the deliverable. Some of our client examples include the Daughters Den, and we have contracting in progress for the Fight for Black Lives documentary to do strategic planning. Year-to-date revenue is listed there as well, 2160. So the podcast, this is how Black Health Lit started. It was COVID, and I wanted a way to get out in the community while we were shelter in place. So I launched the podcast as a way to help educate people in a free and accessible way. Money is a big challenge for people accessing health education. So I launched the Black Health Lit podcast, which has opened up my world as far as networking. So I've been able to connect with the USDA, Dr. Kari Cartwright, who was a recent guest, as well as Janelle King, who is a nurse educator at the CDC. Listenership since the beginning of the pitch has grown by 30%. And at the beginning of the pitch, we did see a split between male and female of 75% female, 25% male, and we've been very intentional in trying to be more engaging for our males and our non-binary population, and we started to see that shift closer to a 50-50 split to make sure that we're reaching everyone in our target demographic. The ages have stayed the same, about 35 to 44 are listening. 22% of our listeners are in Ohio. Behind Ohio, the biggest percent of listeners lives in Texas. For some reason, I'm not sure why, but they are in Texas. Every other listener is scattered throughout the entire country. So I have national listenership and also international listenership with a lot of people listening in India. Sponsorships have grown. In March, we rolled out our sponsorship program, and we have 2 key sponsors, Genetic Sequence Vitamins and Lemoore Lifestyle Public Relations. Year-to-date sponsorship is $200. Branded merchandise. So in February, during Black History Month, I say Black Health a lot. So in February, during Black History Month, I redesigned the Black Health Lit merchandise to be more colorful after a recommendation by my mother. And so since the merchandise has been redesigned, we have seen sales increase quite a bit. So it's increased 100% since the beginning of the pitch competition. And just a small tweak, taking that feedback of adding colors in, made a difference. Year-to-date revenue is $175. I would like to call out that that is a net revenue because our cost of goods sold is 0 because we use a print-on-demand service provider. So let's catch up on Q1. I've been very busy since the last pitch. I've established new relationships with the Whole You Wellness Studio for health education, Jefferson County Health Department for strategic planning, and then health education for Clean Beauty for Black girls, and then rolling out the podcast sponsorship program in March, which helps to diversify our revenue. For market research, I shared some of the primary pain points from the customer primary point survey, completed the Boost Pricing Essentials courses, which was a class that helped me to better understand how should I be pricing my services. Google is not that helpful when pricing services. It's great for pricing products, but not so great for pricing services. So I took a boot camp on how should consultants price their services appropriately based off of the market and what services and value that you're offering. For marketing, in March, I also launched the Black Health Lit Insights newsletter on LinkedIn. If you scan the QR code, you can pull that up and give it a follow. And that is a newsletter where I target professionals, not the community. So I target the community on Instagram and Facebook. I target professionals and decision makers on LinkedIn. Also in Q1, I talked about my relationship with the USDA and the CDC, which are like top tier public health entities. So I am talking with them about providing health education. That is in progress. Operationally, I did roll out a product called tool called Asana for our team. So our project manager uses that to keep the team moving forward. No more emails and Google Docs and spreadsheets. We needed visual management because our team is growing and we're doing so much more work. So that helps us to be more efficient. And then also utilizing the Later Media platform for social media scheduling. It became very tedious and manual and time consuming. So using that tool has made a big difference. And then last but not least, acquiring a breast self-exam group group model will help to enhance our breast health exam, our breast health education session. So with this tool, I will be able to demonstrate to participants how to do their breast self-exam, which is how I discovered my breast cancer. All right, I am going to share with you all now some information on our strategies, sustainability, and scalability. Our strategies for success fall into 3 major buckets. The first is educational development. I am a constant learner. I encourage my team to continue to learn through webinars and online trainings. There are so many free options out there. I try to attend 1 to 2 per week. I also make sure that I read a National Institute of Health publication. I read about 2 of those per week. Information is constantly changing. We see the commercials. One day, this is the best drug that came out. The next day, there's a lawsuit, right? So I have to stay up to date. I have to stay up to date on that to make sure that our sessions and our recommendations are in line with what's the latest. Mentorship, that is a big part of my success. I have my UD flyer pitch assigned mentor. I have other mentors that I've gotten through the Urban League. And then I also lean on the Minority Business Assistance Center because as an entrepreneur, there's a lot to know, how to manage finances, how to do the business piece of the business, because I can educate on health all day, but I need the Minority Business Assistance Center for the business, the stuff that's not fun. And then for marketing optimization, every Wednesday morning for 30 minutes, I look at analytics. I look at social media analytics, and most weeks it's great. And then some weeks I'm like, they did not like that. That is a no, don't do that again. So I look at social media analytics. I look at our website analytics as well. And then rolling out content marketing. I talked about the insights, newsletter, blog posts, and things of that nature. Establishing community partnerships is huge. I cannot do this work alone. Anytime anybody is working in the social sector, partnerships is crucial so that we're not duplicating efforts. Search engine optimization, that was fun. Rolling out some search engine optimization strategies has also proven to be effective in driving people to our websites, doing client interviews and surveys to get that feedback. One Brain, all my ideas are great, but hearing directly from people who need the services is even better. Creating that brand recognition and then doing more targeted marketing. I'll stop and talk about the targeted marketing for a minute. So before, when I first started Black Health Lit, everybody was my customer, right? That's how people start their businesses, and then you have to start to be more targeted in that. So I have started to target organizations that are already at the beginning stages of their health equity journey versus the ones who have zero interest in that. And so I've started to see that our turnover and conversion is starting to go up. For sales optimization, always networking. I network all the time, and I'm an introvert, so that is really hard for me, but I do it. And then email promotions, identifying leads, and making sure to nurture those relationships before going in for the sale. So prior to the classes that I took, I would try to sell, but now I'm learning I need to nurture the relationship a little bit more before I try to close that sale, and that has proven to be more successful. Again, brand recognition, tailoring the solutions, and implementing the feedback that I get. I talked about that search engine optimization. So here is some customer market data to share. So from November 1st, which is about the time that we started the pitch competition, through April 6th, which I think is when the slide deck was due, the newsletter that I wrote out in March saw 170 subscribers almost instantly. So this was as of Sunday. As of this morning, there are 206 subscribers. So it is growing every day. People are interested all over the country in getting information and insights from Black Health Lit. Our website traffic has increased 1,032% since November. So all of those marketing strategies are working. Here's a comparative analysis. So some of our key competitors are Health Literacy Media, local public health departments, and the Institute for Health Equity. We chose some of the features that are our differentiators and fall into our value proposition. The most important one here is that holistic health equity solution. So by us providing consulting support, professional development, and health education, we are able to support the leaders of organizations with consulting and strategies, professional development for the frontline staff who are actually doing the work, and then health education for the people who are receiving the services. Not a lot of organizations are doing all 3 levels of that. Our sustainability plan, we are planning to diversify our revenue over the next couple of years. Right now, our health educator is piloting a health coaching program. I talked about operational optimization with technology and all of the tools that we have. And then for capacity development, by having an internship program, we are able to flex on what services we can offer. So as clients come on, I can bring on more interns. As clients roll off, I can roll off interns. So it gives us that flexibility in our capacity to meet the client's needs. Some 2024 milestones to recap: enhancing our branding, strategic partnerships, and digital marketing campaigns, also investing in technology. Going forward in 2025, rolling out that health coaching product and diversifying our product offerings based off of market research and our clients' feedback. We'd also like to achieve a 50% increase in revenue, doing more community outreach events, striving to do 4 per calendar year, and then rolling out a referral program so that our existing clients can get a discount when they say, hey, go over there and hire Black Health Lit. And then in year 3, we would like to expand nationally. The listenership in the podcast has us interested in exploring what that looks like. We'd like to achieve a 30% increase in year 3, and then working towards an 80% customer retention. Our year 1 through 3 projections are listed here. Our expectation is from year 1 to 2, it will increase 50% because we're bringing on a health educator. And then from year 2 to 3, 30% as we expand our product offerings. Our expenses are expected to increase 10% year over year. Our ask from the UD Flyer Pitch team is for funding for equipment, interns, marketing and networking, merchandise for in-person expos, professional development and capacity building, software, tools, and miscellaneous office expenses. There is a more detailed breakdown of this ask in the business plan. And I would like to share this quote with you all before I close. The poor state of health literacy in America is a crisis, an underlying cause of disparities. It is also a source of extensive disempowerment and perpetuates preventable disease. This was Richard Carmano, who's a medical doctor, a master of public health, and a former U.S. Surgeon General. We have a huge opportunity here to make a difference in the Ohio economy and the health of Black Americans throughout Ohio. And I welcome any questions or feedback you may have at this time.
Nice job, Ray. We have about, for judges, 7 minutes of Q&A.
I have one question. You kind of answered it, but I wanted you to elaborate a little bit because my question was, especially with the success you were having nationally with subscribers, how were you planning to leverage that as far as a business? You came back and said you wanted to expand by 2026.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
Yeah, so I would have to have the health educators in that market or utilize virtual. So there are a lot of virtual health coaching platforms, and our health educator has been researching that. So they have the video, they are HIPAA compliant. She can document in there like a case management type of situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more question.
Go for it. Go for it.
So, and you went over this, but so is there any direct interaction with actual patients outside of like the podcast that you obviously can reach a lot of people with the podcast, but primarily do you have any direct interaction with patients?
Absolutely. So that's the health education service. So that is for patients or people who are coming into community organizations. So I contract with them and they bring me in as the health educator. So if they have a program and they are trying to lower the number of people who are missing their annual mammograms, for example, they could bring me in. I would do education on that, use the breast self-exam model, educate their patients for them. Of course.
So what percentage of this, like the health education, is on the front end, the more proactive aspect of it versus some of the reactive stuff that's out there as well?
Most of our education is preventative.
Okay.
Yes. So that's because of my public health background. I'm always thinking from a population health standpoint and a prevention standpoint. I leave treatment to the nurses, doctors. By the time you need treatment, I think you need somebody who has a clinical mindset to do those interventions.
Okay.
So are you currently doing this full-time or part-time?
This is full-time.
Okay, great,
Yes.
great. And so if you had an ideal customer that you want to target in the next couple months, can you give us an idea who that would be or what organization that would be?
Yes. Locally, I would love to bring Premier Health on. I would love it if Premier would hire me. Nationally, if I could get the USDA or CDC, then I think that could take Black Health Lit to the sky. Yeah.
Great. And for some of the clients that you already have, is there an opportunity for repeat, or is it kind of a one and done in your experience?
I think there's opportunity for repeat. For example, when the clients come in and they say, I'd like you to write me a strategy, then a lot of times people take that strategy and they can't execute it. So then they end up calling me back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Of the revenue and the expenses that you have, are the other project managers, health educators, are they paid from that?
Not at this time.
Not at this time?
No. So my plan is as the health educator rolls out the health coaching pilot, and then it starts to generate revenue, most of that will be her salary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how they'll get, so right now it's, everybody's just kind of jumping in and getting together and.
Yeah. I've been very fortunate. Yes.
Yeah, no, you are.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how are you in April doing, because your numbers jump from Jan, Feb, March, they're low, obviously, but then March looks like around 4,000.
Yeah.
How are
January,
you doing so far?
How am
Getting
I
to that?
doing from January to March?
Just in April, to hit that 4,000 number? I think
By
it's
bringing
4,000.
on more clients. January was a really slow month.
Mhm.
Maybe I may be coming off of the holidays. I'm not sure. I could probably dig into that to find out the why. But now that it's starting to warm up and people are past Christmas and the New Year, then or people are back from vacation, then now clients and organizations are starting to engage more.
I have
Thank
one
you.
other. Oh, go. You can go first.
You have
Okay.
another one?
Nope.
So do you develop your own materials, or are you getting those from other sources?
Yeah. So I develop most of the materials. Some of the materials are developed by the interns.
Okay.
Yeah, so I give them different projects to work on. So for example, whoever has the health education sales brochure, that was actually designed by one of our interns.
Sure.
Any further questions? There's about 2 minutes left, so do one or two.
Thank you all.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Alright, so up next is Charnel Hagan.
Oh, shoot, I gotta give him the mic.
We'll give it a few minutes in between each track. Or each pitches. I'll gather these for the deliberation.
Thank you.
I took off a couple days, I took off Monday this week, and I'm still like, feel like it's been a whole long
Check 1, 2.
Hello, hello. Check 1, 2.
We have our third pitch, one more to follow. So this is Shar with Legacy Financial University. So up next, give this to you. The right one goes forward.
Okay.
And we'll ensure the videos are good to go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm Shar with Charnel. Everybody calls me Nail or Shar. So today we are going to talk about empowering our urban youth through financial literacy. So that's me. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. It is my passion. I live financial literacy. I breathe it. I am the model because I have overcame a lot of financial things myself. I'm a real estate investor. I help people with their credit, taxes. So that is what I do. So my program mission is to equip the young people here, right here in Dayton, Ohio, with financial literacy so we can cure cycles of insecurity within our own community. And my mission statement is to make the financial literacy accessible to all. So currently we know that it is not accessible. Financial literacy is not. A lot of us in here probably did not learn a lot of financial things from our parents. So important statistics that we should think about. So our money habits are set by age 7. So by age 7, you're already going to, how you spend money then is how you're going to spend money as an adult. So it's important to start financial literacy early. 70% of millennials live paycheck to paycheck. I am a millennial. I know plenty of millennials that live paycheck to paycheck. I want to start with our youth to break that cycle. Generation Z is the most financially illiterate. From 1997 to 2010, that generation are the most financially illiterate, and you see that that comes from millennials. Some of our kids are the Gen Z generation. So we are living paycheck to paycheck. We are teaching our kids the same thing, so they're worse off. 4% of children from low-income families will break the cycle of poverty and break into upper middle class. Only 4%. That number is very, very low. So it is important. To teach financial literacy because it helps with food insecurity, health insecurity, fewer foreclosures in our neighborhood, and less stress in our lives and families. 28% of the population for whom poverty status is determined for in Dayton, Ohio, which is currently 125,000 people that live in Dayton, Ohio, 35 people out of 125,000 people live below the poverty line. So that just shows you that our financial literacy is low right here in our community. So my program objectives is increase financial literacy, healthy financial behaviors, empower economic independence, increase savings and asset accumulation, enhance health and well-being, better nutrition and food access, reduce financial strain on health, prevention of debt and predatory practices, and empowered community. So our curriculum overview, which is the handout that I gave to you, that is a sample curriculum. It goes over the first 8 weeks of a whole 16-week semester. So our intro is why personal finance, financial behaviors, budgeting, banking, investing, credit and debt, taxes, and insurance. Most of these things I did not learn at school or growing up from my parents. My mom filed bankruptcy twice. I did not learn about financial literacy at home. So the sample lesson plan that you have in there, this is how it will be tailored. So you'll have your first topic, which will be budgeting, and we'll go through each unit and go over how you budget your money, financial decision-making, spending and saving. And the success will be measured by quizzes, and there will be a knowledge check after each unit. And then once the semester is complete, they will have a final test. So to incorporate visual learning into my curriculum, I came up with Financial Fun Quest, which is my financial literacy flashcards. So I am a visual person. That is the way that I learn. So I like to be able to do the same thing for other people. So it's a visual aid. It's engaging, it's quick, it's repetition and memorization. So you can keep going over the cards over and over again to learn what you need to know. Customizable, boosts confidence. We know that kids who participate in games, open and now able to ask questions, they're more prone to learn. Promotes active recall, complements classroom teaching, self-paced learning, so they don't need instruction to do it. They can sit there and look over the cards themselves. And practical application. So here are the flashcards we have. If you want to make it into a game, I do have instructions. And then this generational wealth, and then it has the definition on the back of the cards. So my card game revenue. So my decks will be sold at $24.99 a piece. I plan to get 1,000 decks. I did start pre-orders for those decks of cards. Once I sell through the first 1,000 deck of cards, that'll bring me in a revenue of about $24,000. To buy 1,000 deck of cards is $4,200, so my profit margin is pretty high. And then in subsequent years, I plan to kind of double the amount of cards that I sell. And I'll go into a little bit on how those cards work into the curriculum price. And then I have a video of kids playing the card game so you can kind of see how it works. And I think she's going
investment is putting money or resources into something expecting future income.
What is credit score?
Credit score is the number that shows the dependency of a person's bank.
Right. Right. What is generational wealth?
Generational wealth is when your wealth is being passed on to generations.
So I wanted to give you a snippet, small. Of course, we played way longer than that, but I wanted to give you a view on how, so she's 8, the one that's reading the cards, and the oldest one, he's 15. So it's from all ages. Any ages can play the game. Oh, sorry. Okay, it went. So my partnerships, let's talk about how I am going to get my financial literacy program out there. So I'm very excited about this part. So my partnerships include schools, nonprofit organizations, financial institutions, government agencies, and community centers. So my marketing is so what I did was I came up with a whole list of all of the banks in Ohio. We know there are a lot of little credit unions, banks that exist that do not have a financial literacy program. So I did some lead generation, and I am waiting to hear back from some of those. Smaller credit unions that have no financial literacy program at all, and reaching out to schools that do not have a financial literacy program in place. So these are my startup costs. So equipment, $1,000, legal fees, which includes trademarking, going over contracts, things like that. Digital platform is going to take about $5,000 to curate my digital platform on a learning management system. My content development, I have a guy, is Jack. He's the one that did those sample curriculums for me. My training and onboarding is going to be once I get the program out there and I do some training. Marketing, I have been starting running ads for my card game. Card deck order, that's for me to order the cards, shipping, and then working capital so I can have some reserves for contingencies and things like that. So that came up to $30,000. These are my monthly operating costs. My costs will be low. I do not have to be in a building to do this. I take the program right to the schools, and they're able to log in and everything once everything is set up. So my curriculum changes per month, about $500. Software, just to run the LMS system, is like $200. Marketing, I plan to run ads, $200. Monitoring of my systems, $300. And then miscellaneous is $500. So my monthly cost is $1,700. So funding sources. So I did secure $15,000 from Dayton Public Schools from the superintendent. I had a meeting with him. He is giving me my startup costs, and I will be piloting my program in Dayton Public Schools starting in August. I did apply for another grant from Dayton Urban League, and I applied for a financial literacy grant from the Dayton Department of Commerce. So applied for $10,000. So since I will be piloting my program in Dayton Public Schools, I did a breakdown on how I plan to do that. So currently, there are 10,456 students in Dayton Public Schools. I plan to start with the high school first. So I am going to then trickle down and include elementary eventually. I am starting with high school first because they are required to have financial literacy to graduate starting in 2026. My program enrollment for contracts, so that goes back a little to this. So my numbers from the first, if you see school, high school enrollment, we currently have 7 high schools in Dayton Public Schools. These are the numbers that attend each of those schools, each of those high schools. Junior high enrollment, and then we have elementary enrollment. And that's what this conveys to. So student breakdown, how I achieve my numbers. So the first year I'm going to pilot in a high school. So it costs about $15,000 to teach each student for instructional fees. So the cost per credit hour is about $146. They only need a half a credit of financial literacy, so that turns to $73 per credit hour. Looking at the Ohio Department of Education's website, they pay $100,000 to $300,000 per contract for a financial literacy program. So including my cost, so this is my revenue per year per user. So my first year to pilot the program, my revenue will be about $38,000. Second year, $104,000. Third, $282,000. The fourth year, $327,000. And the fifth year, $763,000. And you're thinking like, how is this achievable? Well, it's achievable because there's 28 districts in Dayton alone. So each of those schools get funding for a financial literacy program. So, and like I said, those programs costs range between $100,000 to $300,000 that they are giving for them for startup costs. And then here's a word from one of our educators.
Hello, my name is Janice Manuel, and I am talking to you about financial literacy. Financial literacy is crucial for school-grade children as it equips them with essential skills to manage money wisely, make informed financial decisions, and avoid debt traps, and achieve their future goals with confidence and independence.
Regardless of economic background, financial literacy should be accessible to all underserved communities. And thank you.
Star and team, we have about 17 minutes for Q&A.
No, I can do that. Yes.
How do you go about getting a contract from the state?
So it's not through the individual districts. So the
How do you-
state.
Yeah, how do you
so
get a
the-
contract then?
You send them email and meet with them, like I met with the superintendent. I met with him last week and we talked. He loved my program. They are giving me the $15,000 to get my program up and going, and then I meet with the educator that's over the education department, and we are going to go over how we're going to implement the program in Dayton Public Schools. They do not have a set person for their program, so that's where I came in. So my lead generation, me sending an email out, what I'm doing, what my curriculum looks like, how I plan to deliver it, and that's how I secured that first contract.
So they would test it's test, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
they test it out and see
Yes.
how, is there like a curriculum that they require?
Yeah, so the state of Ohio has a
A
curriculum.
set curriculum?
Yes.
And yours matches that set
Yes,
curriculum?
exactly. So my curriculum, Jack, who is my curriculum writer, he wrote the curriculum to match for
What
the
they're-
state of Ohio, yes.
How long is that kind of test period?
So my plan is to test it out for the first semester from when school starts in August until
Okay.
December.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice job, Evan.
Thank you, yes.
So are you doing the curriculum in person or is it an online program?
That's great. It's going to be an online program. So the state of Ohio has it laid out how they want them to deliver the program. I do not need to physically be there.
Okay.
So once I meet with the educator at the Department of Education for Dayton Public Schools, that's when we're going over how we're implementing it. And then the teacher gets trained and then they do the program in the
Okay.
classroom.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you already have it built out or you're still working on that?
That's
piece?
what that's what they're giving me the $15,000
Okay.
for, and then that's what I need your $15,000 for. So that's where my $30,000 is coming from. And then, like I said, I applied for those other 2 grants. But yes, I plan to have this road. I use a lot of my own funds too. I use $10,000 of my own funds to start this.
Sure. So what methods do you plan to have video content or, games? Like what do you foresee that looking like?
Yes. So I do plan to have video content. In the curriculum, it says what type of videos it'll play for each, like budgeting, investing, so they could be interactive. And I plan to implement the card game too. It's 75 terms in there. I plan to see how many the kids know in the beginning, and that's going to be built into the test, like the pre-test.
Sure.
And then at the end, they'll take a test to see what they gain from the class.
Sure.
What's your biggest differentiator from what you're doing and what like financial institutions are doing already? So they have their CRA departments that do financial literacy classes. They have departments that do financial literacy. They partner with, within these organizations that you're looking at. What's the biggest differentiator between what you're offering versus what they're currently doing?
Because I think I'm more personable. Because you see a bigger business, so bigger banks or whatever, I'm more personable. I'm able to go in there, get my own personal experience. I'm able to be right in the community on where I grew up with people that I know. So I think that's what sold it too, is because this is where I grew up. This is where I went to school at. So I was able to go in there, and it really was easier than I thought. It really was. He just kind of like, great, let's get this ball rolling. So they set it up. I just got the email back that they went through their single source purchasing for me to get it up and going.
Congratulations.
You mentioned that you're doing pre-orders. How is that going? How long have you been running that?
So I just started a pre-order 3 weeks ago. It's going good. I currently have 61 pre-orders for my decks of cards. So that has been going good. It's about $1,600 in revenue. Oh, and how the cards, I'm glad you asked me that, how the cards tie back into the curriculum. The money that they're giving me towards the curriculum also includes buying the cards too. So that's how my revenue translates into how many decks of cards I'm going to buy. So by year 5, there's over 10,000 students. That's how I get to over 10,000 decks of cards. So because they're also buying the cards with the curriculum.
Any further questions?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, about 5 minutes, and last but not least, we'll have Tasha.
I was thinking about that too when I was looking at it. There's no way to come back from that.
It isn't, but I mean, we also make a fun decision.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, we can mention back out that mentor scores. But I guess when we have a conversation, we need to back out the mentor scores from everybody else. Just make it, from that standpoint, if it makes a difference.
I don't think so. I don't know if that was something to ask here, but I don't even know if she knows that she doesn't have a mentor. So I feel like that's something we need to ask.
Cat. Why does she not have a mentor score?
I know, it's cool. Yeah.
I didn't receive it yet.
You didn't receive it yet?
So,
But she met with her mentor and
yeah, she did.
went through the process, so we can expect she's going to get dinged by like a 3-point mentor score. Like she should get fairly.
Noted, thank you.
I feel like we should probably just,
Thank you.
we can use those. We can use that as like we can just kind of batch those out.
That's true. I mean, she can afford Hanukkah anyway.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna get so low. I don't think she's gonna be low.
She should.
But it does kind of dampen.
Let's just say she gets a 4.9 or 5.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Dwight's not back yet. Cat, Dwight's not back yet. I was just saying Dwight's not back yet.
Are we just waiting on Dwight?
Mm-hmm.
Judges good to go? All right. So last but not least, we do have one more pitch. So we have Tasha May with the Taste of Sensations to tell you a little bit more about her venture. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. I'm Tasha May, the founder and the driving force behind the Taste of Sensations. We're more than a restaurant. We're a beacon of hope. And I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm thrilled today to be able to share my vision with you. This venture is just not about food. It's about bridging a gap between community, understanding, and dignity. We want a place that is inclusive for all. And I envision a Taste of Sensation as a place that will do exactly that. At the core of a Taste of Sensation, we're built on three prominent words: resilience, hope, and sustenance. Resilience. Resilience is when we take a situation and we're able to overcome that situation and thrive through it. And today is a prime example. I lost a loved one, and instead of backing out of this competition, I decided to come here today and stand no matter how I felt. I knew that she would have wanted me to succeed in this and follow through. Resilience. That's what I'm built of. Hope. the hope in allowing other people to have an opportunity by coming together as a community and serving those people. This is what A Taste of Sensation stands for. Our concept at A Taste of Sensations speaks for itself. If you look at our logo, A Taste of Sensations is the root of what we're built on. It's our belief and understanding that it's more than just food. It's bringing a community together. It's allowing you to have food that tells a story, allows you to go through emotions, and last but not least, it gives you an understanding and a sense of belonging. How many of us use food as our way to cope with the issue, our way to feel soothed, to bring back a memory? If we had Sunday dinners with our grandmother and she's no longer with us, when somebody makes macaroni and cheese, your immediate thought is, oh, my grandmother's macaroni and cheese. This is what we want every guest at A Taste of Sensation to feel when they walk through the door, regardless of their ability to pay. Which leads us to the problem that we have. In Dayton, Ohio, 11.5%, and in Trotwood, astounding 20.6% of our population faces food insecurity. This is not just hunger. It's about people who don't have a sense of belonging or an understanding. I want to share my story. Right at the brink of COVID, I lost my job, and I found my husband having to be the only one with the income to kind of allow us to be able to still maintain. But even though he was working extra hours, we were right above the ability to be able to get government assistance, and at the same time, we were struggling between paying our bills and providing good food. So we had ventured into a soup kitchen. We went to the soup kitchen, and I have a daughter who has very strict, restricted dietary needs. She has a lot of disabilities and can't eat a lot of things. And then I have a daughter who is vegan. So as we were there, we were excited. The food came out, only for us to be disheartened. They had nothing that was available for my child who was a vegan, and there was nothing for my child who had special needs. So all they told us is you can either pick out the meat out of the vegetables, or she can choose not to eat. So our entire family went without, because if one couldn't eat, we all couldn't eat. So we left there feeling disheartened, still hungry, felt like our dignity was thrown in our face, because how do you explain to a child that they're not able to eat when they smell the food? Can you smell the aroma in here? Can you imagine how many people smell an aroma and their stomach begins to gurgle? It's not from them just being hungry. It's from the fact that they don't have the ability to get what they need, a nutritious meal. We came up with an innovative solution. That day after I left, I wanted no one else to feel the pain that my family went through at that moment, and was born A Taste of Sensations. I wanted to experience bringing fine dining to the community, even though everyone doesn't have the money or the funds to do it. I wanted to think of a creative way to redefine fine dining, where it was not just an exclusive thing, but inclusive for all to have the opportunity to do. And with that, we build empowerment, community, and we make a social change. How do we do that? It comes to our revolutionary motto. Our mission is to revolutionize food assistance, making fine cuisine a bridge between community, dignity, and inclusivity. Inclusivity is allowing vegans, a pescatarian, a person that has a gluten allergy, a person that has an allergy to peanuts, whatever your desire is, I want you to be able to come into our establishment and order it off of the menu. This is what we stand for. We want to redefine the concept that a meal is a simple transaction. We want you to come in and feel like you're at home. We don't see you as a patron or a person visiting. No matter what your circumstance is, we see you as a person. We see the joy, we see the life. We want you to sit at our table and commune with someone that you don't even know, that sparks up a bridge between your food that really tells a story and allows you to embody and get to know somebody else. Food is the center that builds us up. It can change your circumstance. Whatever you may be going through, with the right meal for that moment, you forget all about your worries. It's the opportunity for us to connect with a mutual respect for someone who is a vegan by choice or someone who has a special dietary need. Dignified, sustainable, that is our motto. So we embarked at A Taste of Sensations to go ahead and take my farm that I have right in my backyard and grow the produce. By doing that, growing the produce that we put on our table for every ingredient allows us to have quality ingredients that allows us to cut back on our food costs in a strategic way and to be able to, a stable way to be able to keep our business running. We know that 1 in 5 businesses fail within the first 5 years. We want to make sure that that does not happen with us. So we took out the time to take my catering business, Herbal Sensations and Sauces, and start putting money away to be able to fund this so that we have extra money. We're also building clientele by doing this, bridging the gap between customers who come in and can pay and those who cannot pay. We want to find a clear balance between the two of those. Our sustainable ecosystem. Like I said, with our garden and doing that, we also are formulating partnerships with Central State Gardening, which is out in Trotwood. I have a lot of the ladies that are willing to give us their produce that they have overflow in to help sustain our business, as well as formulating partnerships with the local grocery stores to rescue food. When we rescue this food, we're rescuing the fresh food that usually goes to waste. We have a lot of food here in our city that gets wasted every day. Our blueprint for impact is deeply rooted in that collaboration that we have with others and the sustainability. We really want to make ourselves the champions of food security and actually make an impact to help end hunger. Our environmental stewardship. How do we do this? The food from our restaurant, as I do organic gardening, you can take the food and you can compost it to reproduce food. So we would take a lot of the scraps that come from the tomatoes that you would think that's wasted, the potato skins that we cut off, and the lettuce, different things of that sort can be reused to help rebuild produce. This encompasses a broad network of individuals that are united to share a mission, to nourish, to educate, and inspire. The heart and the strategy of our business. Myself, the founder and executive director, and my husband, we are more than family. My husband has over 20 years in the cooking industry as a chef. He also is the lead operator for his current job that he works in, where he has, for the last 4 years, received awards for being able to really balance the books, not going over spending, not wasting or products that they use. So he is the key to allowing us to really be able to operate. He is the backbone behind that. We know that we all can't do everything, so I entrust him with that. And we're aiming to create a space where community, culture, and cuisine intersect. This is the heart of who we are. I'm passionate about this. This is not just something that I want to do. We really took out the time to strategically hit the streets and talk to the people out there who need it the most. We talked to the homeless people and asked what are some of their favorite meals that they remember or that they would like to see. We talked to different people in Trotwood and the Dayton area to come up with our menu. Our menu is a love story. As you can see here, we want to make sure that everything is nutritious. We have vegan greens. We specialize in vegan greens. A lot of people like to add meat to their greens, but there's ways to accompany that. So we incorporate fennel seed to give you the illusion that you have meat in your greens. We take out the time to get corn, fresh corn, and cut it off the cob and add peppers and different spices to it that really awaken the senses. Salmon is one of those things that are, I would say it's like the new chicken. A lot of people now are incorporating salmon into their menu. And so what we have here is blackened salmon over some Thai and basil rice. that I took, it's jasmine rice and then the corn. So that incorporates a healthy meal where we're not feeling overwhelmed after we eat or lethargic and in a sleep coma, as most people would say. So we want to make sure that our food is inviting and makes a person want to come back. Our opportunity landscape. Right now, in Dayton and Trotwood, the opportunity is great for a restaurant of this caliber. It's not just a restaurant, it's also a social enterprise where people can collab. If you know the Trotwood area, for instance, there is no type of restaurants out there except for fast food, nothing healthy. None of these restaurants or options out there actually cater to possibly a vegan outside of if you order a salad. So the unique intersection of culinary delight and social purpose helps to really formulate, and people want to stand on something like that. We challenged where we wanted to put this. I wanted it to be in a place that was central where we can have great profit from people who pay it forward, as well as be able to service those who really can't afford to pay. So our initiatives come into play where if you can't afford, you have those people who can pay it forward. So we chose a location within downtown Dayton. If you look at my business plan, you can see that I chose that area because it is central location. It's right outside the highway. It allows us to enter the other suburbs to come in for like Kettering and Oakwood and Centerville. It's in a place where people would come. Downtown Dayton is thriving, but it also allows us to have the free transportation or public transportation that is down there. Fine dining becomes a tool to empower and a means to address societal changes. Down there, we have the Apple Street or Women's for Apple Street, Gateway, all of these places that are down there and don't actually have someone who really caters or cares about their needs. And I think that they are the most important person of why we do this, or the most important people of why we do this. Our vision is not just a vision, it's a well thought out plan. For the last 3 years, since 2021, I have been investing by doing catering services. Doing those catering services allowed us to make money. We've also incorporated seasonings that we make, that we produce with all our seasonings that come off of our farm. That is another revenue for us. There are other restaurants that do this exact thing, will not bring fine dining. Most of them are cafes, like Same Cafe, which is a restaurant where you're able to pay what you can. They actually don't have a price on their menu. You come in, whatever you think that that food is worth, they do that. And that is a thriving business. We also have Fame, which is for all meals for all individuals. I apologize. And their concept is you come in, you either pay what's on the menu, you pay more than what's on the menu, or you pay what you can. These places demonstrate that it is successful to have a profitable business as well as a social enterprise. We also have one located right here in our city. We have in Kettering and Miamisburg. It's called One Bistro. One Bistro takes out the opportunity to have, it's not completely fine dining, but it's like a casual dining experience where you can come in and you can pay it forward. You can pay what you can, or you can even volunteer to pay for your food. So we looked at those concepts, the success rate of those concepts and how long they've been in business, and shows us that we are able to do the same thing. If you look at our traction, in 2024, we expect to make just about $100,000. The reason we are doing that is because our catering service is thriving. We've gained 2 contracts with Omega CDC, where we do 4 times a month their local catering business, or their local meetings, we cater. I apologize, y'all. And then also with Wittenberg University. And that has been since flyer pitch. Somebody spoke to somebody and they called me and they came and I did a tasting for them, and from that we've landed a contract, a yearly contract that gives us steady income. As you can see, in 2025, Our income doesn't go up as much because we're taking that time and we're gonna get our equipment to run the restaurant for 2026. So what we're doing is taking the initial cost of the restaurant, purchasing that equipment, so you don't see as much of a profit gain because we're gonna use that extra money to start investing in that equipment. By 2026, we plan to have the restaurant fully open and operational, operating 6 days out of the week. We will take one day to kind of replenish everything, sit back, get everything nice and clean so that we can reservice. Our income at that point, within that first year, will skyrocket. Not just the income from the restaurant, as well as the catering service, as well as our seasoning sales, and as well as the contracts that we have with other ventures. We also do educational classes. I was able to gain a contract with Dayton Children's Hospital where I'll go in and I teach educational classes on food, nutrition with their kinship parents program. Also teaching them how to farm. So I was able to go in, I got paid for it, to teach them how to grow seeds from the beginning and on up. So we want to incorporate that as well as culinary classes. Our progression since Flyer Pitch. I was very honored to receive the Bedelia, now CFX, I believe, award for the branding kit. So that puts some footprints on our digital footprint. We're currently in the process of getting our websites done and up and running. We also was able to gain the partnerships with Omega CDC and Wittenberg University. As you can see, we hosted our educational classes with Dayton Children's, and we have another one that they just called about that we will be doing in May. We also have gained probably 25% of our catering jobs. So I am actually booked from now until August with catering events. I actually have a catering event today when I leave here. We ask that you join Sensations. Why? This is a prominent time where we need it the most, and we can make real strides in actually ending hunger and food insecurity. We're asking for $15,000 today. That $15,000 will allow us to be able to get a jump start on things that we need to enhance the seasonings so I can be able to produce more seasonings, get a contract with somebody to be able to actually manufacture my seasonings. Right now I do it by hand. Also, we're asking that you help us gain partnership. We're all in this room, and networking is the #1 key for us to be able to really get partnerships. So let somebody know about this adventure. Let them know that we're not just trying to become another soup kitchen or make a profit. We really want to make a great change in our system. And our promise to build the future where everyone has access to dignity and a nourishing meal. So we asked you to not just sit here, go out, tell somebody about A Taste of Sensations and what our mission is. Our mission is to revolutionize food assistance in a way that allows us to experience fine dining and inclusivity with dignity. Thank you. I would like to thank you for this time today. Really just the opportunity that I have with Flyer Pitch, I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my mentor who gave me some really prominent ideas and strives to really be able to market this. We are not just a B2B, we're also a B2C company. So I asked you all, don't forget about A Taste of Sensations. Thank you for working with me today, because this was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do with losing somebody that was so close to me this morning before I came to pitch. So thank you. Questions, I'm sorry, questions.
Questions? We have about 9 minutes.
So I saw a large expense was the equipment, which you mentioned.
Yes.
What specific type of equipment?
So, well, I've already purchased like I can't think of what it's called, the prep tables. So I have the prep tables. I also have a grill, which is like the deep fryer grill that you get. I was able to purchase that, so that will actually come off of there. Somebody actually blessed me with a griddle. I went to a restaurant and I spoke with them about possibly getting a location, which is where I got all my prices from, that is actually in the downtown area that they will be leaving within a year, and I plan to get that establishment for them. So they blessed me with that. So then we're looking at stoves, we're looking at freezers, we're looking at storage to be able to keep our food in, purchasing the tables. I actually is selling me all of the equipment that they have for that price. And this is actually a brand new establishment. They've been there for 5 years. The owners are now going into the window business and they're leaving this area. So in my networking, going out, meeting people, talking about the business, trying to see what it would actually cost in a restaurant, I came across them and they were able to provide me with that. And once they found out what my venture is, they offered me that. So the rent for that place, they actually offered me to purchase the place, but right now it's not feasible for me to purchase the place because it's $385,000, but they are willing to rent it to me for $3,200 a month.
Great.
Yes.
Are you a for-profit or nonprofit?
So I am a for-profit with a social enterprise that I'm actually going to work with a lawyer with to make that become a nonprofit. So it's actually both. So the for-profit will actually fund the nonprofit portion of it.
Which part of the business is going to be nonprofit? The social side or the whole restaurant?
The social side. As I spoke with someone who told me about it, they said that it would be more beneficial for me to put that as a nonprofit that is operating underneath of the for-profit, so that I still had or I could be able to give that or leave it to my children without like my team being able to come and get that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions?
I have one other question.
Yeah, Kate.
So that's great that you do your own gardening. Is that how you get most of the
That is how I get
vegetables?
most
Okay.
of the food. That is also a way for me to be able to truly be able to offset my costs so that I can fund this.
Sure.
That is the number one thing. How are you able to give away food and still make money to be able to run your restaurant? So that is one of the clever ways that I have. My farm, I call it now a farm. I used to call it a garden, but I literally grow everything from corn, tomatoes, squash, zucchini, potatoes, sweet potatoes, cantaloupe, strawberries, watermelon, broccoli, asparagus, all my herbs, rosemary, tarragon, basil, you name it, I grow.
That's impressive. I need your class. So is that scalable? Do you think as you grow, will you?
It
be able to
is.
keep
I'm
that?
actually in the process with Trotwood Schools of coming in and teaching economics and growing, because I can teach you how to grow in an apartment with no grass at all, in your kitchen, in your basement. That is actually what I do. I keep all the seeds from my produce from the previous year. I put it in Ziploc bags, and then when the season starts, like about 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost, I actually start indoors in starter dirt and my seeds with my glow lights and all of that, because when I first started, we didn't have a real yard to really do that in, so that was the most economical for me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there's no questions, thank you, Tasha, so much.
Thank you.
Being great. So, thank you all for being here today. Again, thank you judges, thank you mentors in the room, thank you to the Marquise team for doing the tech today. Now we're going to break up, and so the judges will be doing the deliberation. And for the rest of you, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Hopefully we'll see you on Thursday here at the Rotunda at 6 o'clock for the banquet. So appreciate your time today.
room as before? We're going in the same room as before. What?
Same room as before, chapel.
Well, that's good.
Chapel room.
So, you know, we'll be going to the chapel room, and I'll join you